Okay, so there's this massive shift happening, pretty much right under our noses. It's a complete restructuring of how we build software, and it's all being driven by AI. Today, we're going to break down what this great restructuring really looks like.
Right off the bat, let's just get one thing crystal clear. For the longest time, a developer's value is often tied to how fast they could pump out lines of code. Well, that entire race, it's officially over. The machines won.
And they won big. AI is just incredible at the tactical side of development. We're talking boilerplate code, simple components, all those routine API endpoints. In fact, it can get us about 80% of the way there. That is a massive, almost unbelievable jump in pure velocity.
But that brings up the single most important question, doesn't it? If the machine handles that 80%, what on earth happens with that last, absolutely crucial 20%? Well, that's where human value is being completely redefined, and that's exactly what we're going to get into.
So let's start with the revolution happening right at the code level. We've gone from the old agile mantra of move fast and break things to something new called AI velocity. This is the era of the so-called vibe coder, someone who can take a rough idea and just, poof, turn it into a working prototype almost instantly. It's fast, it's exciting, and you know what? It's also kind of chaotic.
Yeah, see this speed, it has a really serious downside. AI-generated code, when it's not guided properly, can become a total mess right out of the gate. We're talking complex, tangled, hard-to-maintain code. It's like creating a mountain of technical debt in a matter of seconds.
And this combo of speed and chaos is creating this huge divide. The middle ground for developers is vanishing. That typical dev role, the one focused on building straightforward features like basic data endpoints, is getting squeezed out by automation. It's forcing the whole workforce to split into these new, highly specialized roles. Now, to really make sense of all this, looking at individual job titles just isn't going to cut it. We have to zoom out. We need to put on a new lens and think about the entire system of software development and see how it's being forced to reorganize itself.
And that new lens? It's called systems thinking. It's all about looking at the big picture, the whole system, and how all the parts relate to each other, instead of just getting lost in the individual pieces.
The brilliant systems thinker Don Alamedos put it perfectly. A system is just a set of interconnected things that create their own patterns. And guess what? The software development lifecycle is a system, and AI is this powerful new force we've just dropped right into the middle of it, causing the entire pattern to shift.
All right, so using that systems thinking lens, let's dig in. How is software development actually reorganizing? What does this new structure really look like on the ground?
I mean, this contrast says it all. The old agile world was all about moving fast. The new world, it's about being intentional. The spec sheet isn't just some document anymore, it is the code, because it's the prompt that tells the AI what to build. And forget manual QA checks. We're moving to something way more aggressive, brute force AI verification.
So this reorganized system is giving birth to 4 brand new, absolutely essential archetypes, the new roles you need to survive and thrive in an AI-driven world.
Here they are at a glance. You've got the architect, who builds the playground for the AI, the scalpel, who performs the high-stakes surgery the AI can't handle, the operator, who keeps the whole thing from catching on fire, and the destroyer, who uses AI to find the weak spots in what the AI just built. Let's look at each one.
First up, the architect. In a lot of agile circles, architect was almost a dirty word. Well, this role is back with a vengeance. Their job isn't writing functions anymore. It's designing constraints. They build the cage, the boundaries, the libraries, the patterns that the AI has to work inside. They're making the system make sense to the machine. Next, we have the scalpel. This is your top-tier engineer. While the AI is crushing that 80%, the scalpel is the one who steps in to handle that excruciatingly difficult final 20%. They have that deep, specialized knowledge needed to debug a subtle AI hallucination, where the AI just confidently makes stuff up, or to do the truly innovative work that requires real human ingenuity.
Which brings us to the operator, often a site reliability engineer or SRE. Think about it. As writing code gets cheaper and cheaper, the cost and complexity of running all that code just skyrockets. This is where a lot of traditional developers are finding their new critical purpose. Their value is shifting from building stuff to making sure the entire system runs smoothly, managing the whole operational side of things.
In this role, this one is fascinating. The destroyer. This is the evolution of QA. Their job isn't just to make sure things work.
It's to aggressively prove where they break. They manage these swarms of AIs that just hammer the system with industrial-scale testing, basically orchestrating chaos to make sure the whole thing is truly bulletproof. Now, this doesn't mean AI writes everything. Smart teams are creating what you could call AI no-go zones. So, while the outer layers of your app can be AI accelerated, the core, that sensitive, business-critical secret sauce, that part stays strictly human-written and heavily protected.
And hey, this huge transformation isn't just for engineers, it's also radically changing the role of the product owner. The days of getting by with vague user stories and high-level ideas, those are over. Done. And the reason is super simple. An AI is a pattern-matching machine. It is not a mind reader. If you feed it a vague idea, it's going to give you back vague garbage. Product owners now have to be more like technical analysts. They have to be able to write rigorous, super clear specifications. Because in this new world, the spec is the prompt.
Okay, let's tie all this together. The fundamental shift, the big takeaway here, is that thinking now decisively beats typing. Lasting human value is moving away from just doing the work and towards strategic thinking, system design, and, most importantly, providing context.
And that's exactly why building your own custom tools to guide AI is becoming a huge advantage. An outside company can't replicate your unique context. Only your team has what's being called the context trinity. You know your software, you know your data, and you know your people, inside and out. That context is the secret weapon for steering AI effectively.
Look, it all comes down to this. The race to see who could type the fastest is over. The new race is a race for control, for verification, and for structure. The future isn't about out-coding the machine, it's about out-thinking it.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty big question for you to think about. In this completely new, completely restructured system, where are you going to create value?